Well, that went a lot better than I thought it was going to.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Coming up on today's show, we preview the Yankees' upcoming 3-game set in Arizona, which begins tonight against the Diamondbacks. But first, we're just recapping this weekend's sweep against the Houston Astros. Let's say it again, sweep. It's a sweep. They swept 4 games. It's a sweep. This is the one time that I'm not upset that my bold prediction was wrong, because my bold prediction was 3 out of 4. I said I had a good feeling. I just didn't think it was this good a feeling. Anyway, so the Yankees sweep the Astros in 4 games to open up the season. And after all the kvetching that I did about the schedule and how I didn't like that they were opening up with 4 games against Houston, in Houston, I didn't think it was fair. And I have no problem with it now. I don't think anyone has a problem with it. Houston fans probably have a problem with it, but I certainly don't have a problem with it. So what a fun series, honestly. 3 comeback wins, and then a win that could have turned into a loss very easily on Sunday. I was a little worried about that. We're going to talk about Sunday's game first, actually. We'll work our way back and do it in that direction. Coming into Sunday, I thought to myself, okay, they won the first 3. If they lose on Sunday, 3 out of 4 is great. 3 out of 4 is way better than anyone would have expected, especially without Garrett Cole in the rotation. And then they swept the series. And I thought to myself, this team feels different to me. Something about their demeanor feels different to me. You know, Aaron Judge didn't really do a lot in this series. And the Yankees swept in 4 games because of other guys contributing. So let's get into Sunday. Clark Schmidt, okay, his numbers, everything got inflated because of the last inning, but he looked okay. You'd want it to be a little better, but he didn't let the game get too out of hand, which is what you could say about most of the starters for the Yankees in this series. They kept them in the game, or, kept the game from getting away from them. So that's a good thing. Was it a perfect outing? No. Could it have been better? Yes. But Houston scares me. I believe I said this on Friday, but maybe I didn't say this on Friday. But Houston scares me. The lineup is scary. There are a bunch of guys in there that if they're not hitting home runs, they're hitting doubles and singles and, doing it with people on base and just, I don't know. It's a scary lineup to me. It's not one of those lineups with big, brawny, beefy dudes like the Cleveland teams of the 90s or the Seattle teams of the 90s, but it's still a relentless offense usually. And I was happy with how the Yankee starters didn't let things get too far away, So the thing that sticks out to me the most about Sunday's game, obviously, is the 9th inning. The 9th inning for the Yankees in the top of the 9th, with Soto coming up big again, and Gleyber too. Gleyber stealing second, huge, and taking off just before Soto got the hit. So he was already, there was no way they were going to get him out at home. So that was really big. Heads up by Gleyber. He needed that after a couple of incidents, plays that weren't so smart, base running mistakes that he made in previous games in the series. So, that all starts with Gleyber, and then Soto does his thing and puts the Yankees ahead 4-3. I'm going to say this probably every show of this season. Hal, give him whatever he wants. I don't care how much it is. Give him anything he wants. I know it's only been 4 games, but I am enjoying every second of Juan Soto. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. The franchise is worth nearly $8 million or $8 billion. Give him whatever he wants. You know who else feels the same way? Phil Hughes. Phil Hughes tweeted after, I believe, Saturday's game saying, Hal, give him whatever he wants. And then he reiterated it after Sunday's game. Same thing. Juan Soto should be a lifelong Yankee, or from this point on till the end of his career. Yankees should be signing him until he's 40. They should. He's fantastic. I love it. So the ninth inning was both exhilarating, then it was scary, then it was spooky, and then it was exhilarating again. You had John Birdie making that play at third. Altuve, as usual, hitting the ball. You had that ball that went foul that could have ended the game. You had the Verdugo catch to end the game. Just unbelievable. I don't know if Clay Holmes prayed to the baseball gods before the game, because that could have been a disaster. And it just worked out for the Yankees. And that's just how it felt all weekend long. Luck was on their side. And luck didn't seem to be on the Astros side. And it was a little disconcerting. Although I said before I previewed this series, I told you all that the Yankees had won 5 out of the last 7 against Houston in the regular season. They do okay against Houston in the regular season. It's the playoffs that's the problem. It's the playoffs that, gives Yankees fits, and they can't do anything against Houston, or they can't get over the hump against Houston. So on Sunday, the Yankees had 10 hits, and Oswaldo Cabrera did not have one of them. He did work a walk. He had one hell of a weekend. Soto was 3 for 5. Rizzo was 2 for 4. Stanton had a hit. Verdugo had a hit. Birdie had a hit. Trevino had a hit. Glaber, just what a great game. Judge had the sac fly. That was something, but he also had 2 more strikeouts. He just needs a few more games. I think he just needs a few more games to get things going. He had that time off during the spring, and he's a little behind, and it's fine. Stanton had that double. Stanton also tagged up. What is happening with him? I thought I was hallucinating when that happened. He looked very speedy. He looked comfortable getting into second and then tagging up on that. I just was like, what is happening here? It was a good weekend. And the other good thing about Soto in the 9th inning, getting the hit that he got, because again, Glaber running on that pitch also helped. But doing it against Josh Hader, because Josh Hader was basically lights out most of the weekend whenever he came into a game. And that was huge. That was tremendously huge. Also, Nick Birdie ended up getting the win. So you have John Birdie. See, this is tough because they pronounce the names the same, even though one is B-U-R-D-I and the other one is B-E-R-T-I. So, yeah. So you had John Birdie making that amazing play on the line. That would have ended the game. And it would have been Altuve, and it would have been annoying. And I was thinking about that, where the 3 out of 4 would have been fine, but it's always a bummer if you lose the last game of a series like that in walk-off fashion or in some sort of weird circumstance. So I'm so glad that that didn't happen. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So yeah, fantastic game on Sunday. Very happy with it, obviously, because no one expected this. No one expected a sweep. No one. You're all lying if you said you expected a sweep out of this team against Houston in Houston. You did not. You did not. But again, very happy my bold prediction was not correct, because I said 3 out of 4. Well, first I said a split, and then I said, you know what? Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy and zany. I'll say 3 out of 4. Oh, Stace. Ye of little faith. Just kidding. So coming up in segment 2, we are going to discuss Marcus Stroman's first start as a Yankee, Carlos Rodon's first start of 2024. But first, don't forget, reply to the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday if you want your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday, or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description. You'll get a text from me. You can text me if you want to, and there's a 14-day free trial. So again, coming up next, Stroman and Rodon. How did they do? You all know how they did. The sports calendar is loaded, and FanDuel's making it even more exciting to get in on the action. Because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet the tournament, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, and so much more. You can bet on the men's Final Four, which is set right now with Connecticut matched up against Alabama, and the surprising NC State, who will be taking on Purdue. And if you want to bet on baseball, you can use the parlay builders to bet on hits, home runs, RBIs, and more. You can also bet on individual players to hit home runs. And of course, you can bet on individual games. Right now, the Yankees are favored slightly over the Diamondbacks in Monday night's matchup. So get in on that if you can. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a big win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by LinkedIn. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. Welcome back. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? You have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire Channels app, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So let's talk about Saturday's game. Marcus Stroman. My goodness, what a performance by him, because the guys behind him were giving me fits and must have been giving him fits. He also kind of got in on the action with that really bad throw toward home. But, he finished the game with the win, and he does not have an ERA because none of those runs were earned. So good for him. So he allowed 4 hits in 6 innings, only gave up those 3 runs, none of them earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, got out of some jams, threw 101 pitches, 58 of them were strikes. And, for a first-time start, he must have been really nervous. I'm assuming he would have been nervous because he grew up a Yankee fan on Long Island, and that's a big deal for him. And nice first outing. Again, Houston, don't let the sweep fool you. Houston is a scary team. So the fact that they were unearned runs is a good thing. And the fact that the Yankees were able to come back and win, also a good thing. Because the Yankees were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position on Saturday. They were having some issues with that. But some guys who weren't having issues, Juan Soto, again, 2 for 5. Oswaldo Cabrera, a big 1 for 4. That home run in the 7th inning off Abreu. Soto with the home run off Abreu. Volpe with the home run off Presley. Yeah, that was a good come from behind win as well for the Yankees. And I didn't I didn't notice in the first few games for some reason. I don't or the first 2 games, and I don't know why I suddenly noticed it on Saturday. And I don't know why I didn't notice it during spring training, but watching Volpe hit that home run and run around the bases, I realized that he bulked up a little bit. Why didn't I notice this before that? But yeah, that was that was a shot for Volpe. That was impressive. Judge had a hit, Glaber had a hit. Volpe had 2 hits. He was 2 for 4. Wells got in on the action. Oswaldo Cabrera, what a showing for him. DJ gets hurt. He has the non-displaced fracture in his foot. So it's not just a bone bruise. And people were wondering who's going to start at third base. Well, Oswaldo Cabrera started at third base in 3 games, put up incredible numbers, was hitting like Barry Bonds after the 6th inning in almost every game that he appeared in, and basically quieted everyone. And the only reason he didn't play third base on Sunday is because Anthony Volpe had, I believe, food poisoning. So he didn't play on Sunday. So that's why John Birdie played third base and Oswaldo moved over to short. So what a series for him. Incredible. Him and Soto putting on a 2-man show offensively for the Yankees, just like everyone drew it up. But good first start for Stroman. Was it perfect? No. But again, he gets the win. His ERA is 0. What more could you ask for if you were Marcus Stroman? Not much. And then on Friday night, I said I was going to be watching Carlos Rodon like a hawk, and I figured we all would be watching him like a hawk because of his season, really, in 2023. It was a mess, and he will be the first one to tell you that. So on Friday, people were too hard on Carlos Rodon. I'm going to say that right now. Just like I said with Stroman, was it a perfect outing? No, of course not. Could it have been longer? Yes. Would we have liked it to have been longer? Yes, because 4 1/3 innings is not enough time, especially when you're throwing 87 pitches. But he only gave up that 1 run in the first inning, and he worked himself into and out of trouble. And all I have to say, and I said this on a different podcast earlier in the day that I was recording, you look at his last start of 2023 when he could not get Royals out. The Royals, he could not get an out in the first inning and they had to take him out. Okay, that was his last start of 2023. Compare that to this, where he only allows 1 run on 5 hits. He gets 4 strikeouts. And he walked 3, but his velocity was up. If you look at Baseball Savant, he has the top 5 velocities. The highest was 98.3. He also had 11 swings and misses. Another good thing. And let's break that down a little bit because I actually wrote that down here in the rundown. So he had 7 swings and misses on his fastball, 3 on his slider, and 1 on that cutter that he's starting to throw. He threw 13 of those cutters out of the 87 pitches that he threw on Friday night. So again, it wasn't perfect. It would have been nicer if he had lasted longer than 4 1/3 innings, but I feel like this is something that he can build upon. And again, so much better than his last start of 2023. And, got big strikeouts when he needed them. And the one complaint I do have about this was Friday night's game was on Apple TV Plus, and they didn't show Boone taking Rodon out. They showed Rodon turning around and laughing because presumably Boone was making his way to the mound. And then they cut to some special package that they put together with, I don't know which guy it was because I was hardly paying attention to the people in the booth. I'm so sorry to the Apple TV people. But he was talking with Alex Bregman about something from before the game. And we didn't get to see Rodon's reaction to being taken out because that's a show within a game. Because he always makes faces, he's always laughing, he's pissed, and he was starting to laugh, and then Apple TV cut away. So he was asked after the game not quite if he was disappointed, but kind of, They said, how do you feel about your outing? He said, look, I'm not going to be unhappy when my team ends up winning the game, which is a good answer. So, he said that he felt more comfortable, felt more confident. That's all we want from him, right? You just want him to feel more comfortable and more confident. And again, I think people were being too hard on him. No 4 1/3 isn't enough, but the bullpen is unbelievable. Ian Hamilton, hello. Can we talk about Ian Hamilton? We might have to talk about him. I might have to do a full segment on him if he keeps this up in this first week. Clay Holmes looked a little iffy on Sunday, had some really good luck, but hey, 3 saves in 4 games. I'll take it. But yeah, great series by the Yankees. Just a great series, surprising series. I was happy with it. You all were happy with it. And just before I started recording, the Yankees made a trade with the White Sox. They acquired right-hander Jake Cousins for cash considerations. He was drafted by the Nationals in 2017. He was with Milwaukee in 2021, 22, and 23. He's a bullpen arm. That's all I really know about him because it kind of came out of nowhere. Coming up next, previewing the series with the Diamondbacks, which starts tonight. 9:30 start, and I'll let you know what happened with Scranton this weekend because minors baseball started, but we will not do a full Minors Monday until next week when everyone else starts. Amazon Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewer experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournaments, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels let you dive into all the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports, including March Madness, NBA, Major League Baseball, and lots more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, and cooking videos as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. And if you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV Channels app. Okay, so the Yankees, no rest for the weary. They play 4 in Houston and then go straight to Arizona because why not? It's the beginning of the season. We might as well have them rush into another series. So the matchups are as follows. Okay. Monday night, Luis Gil makes his 2024 debut against Ryan Nelson, who's also making his season debut. So Luis Gil, who was named the 5th starter just before the season started, is starting the 5th game for the Yankees, first game in Arizona. It's a 9:30 start, so it'll be a late show. Tuesday's show will be late. I'm just telling you right now because there's no way I'm getting that up by midnight. The game might not even be over by midnight. Tuesday, Nestor Cortez against Zach Gallen. Gallen pitched 5 innings against the Rockies in his first outing of the season. He gave up 1 run on 3 hits with 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. And then in the series finale on Wednesday, it's Carlos Rodon against Merrill Kelly. Kelly pitched 6 2/3 innings against the Rockies. He gave up 1 run on 3 hits. Didn't walk anyone, and he struck out 8. So should be an interesting series against the reigning National League champion Arizona Diamondbacks. And now it's time for minors. Okay, so this is a slight Minors Monday update, just because Scranton is the only one to have played games. Everyone else, well, I'll tell you in a bit. So Scranton won 2 out of 3 against Buffalo. That's the AAA affiliate for the Blue Jays this weekend. Will Warren opened up. He was the starter on opening day. He only recorded 1 out. He allowed 5 runs on 3 hits. He had 3 walks. He did not look that good, but Scranton came back thanks to an offensive explosion, and they won that game 12-9. It was kind of crazy. And it was the 5th inning that really changed everything for them, because they scored 7 runs on 6 hits and made the game 11-7. So they were down 7-4 heading into that inning. Of the people that we know from this show, Jordan Groshans, who was recently traded to the Yankees, walked. Jeter down singled. Brandon Lockridge hit a 2-run double. Everson Pereira hit a home run. Narvaez hit an RBI base hit. So, yeah, it was a good first game for the Scranton Rail Riders. They ended up, as I said, 2 out of 3. They won a game 4-3 and then lost a game 4-3. And as for the rest of the minors, the Somerset Patriots open on Friday at home against Richmond. The Hudson Valley Renegades open on the road on Friday against Bowling Green. And the Tampa Tarpons will be in Fort Myers to start their 2024 season also on Friday. So next Monday, we'll do more of a Minors Monday, because there's more to talk about, because everyone is starting to play. So get excited for that. So we have Yankees, Diamondbacks we'll be talking about this week. And then the home opener against the Blue Jays coming up later in the week. And we'll preview that, obviously. And we also have the addition of my new co-host. He will be starting soon, probably this week. There's just some paperwork that needs to be done, but you will be introduced to the new co-host later in the week. So one more time before we end everything, don't forget to join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description below and a 14-day free trial. You can text me anything you want. You can text me questions for Fan Mail Friday. And speaking of that, leave your questions under the pinned comment on YouTube for Fan Mail Friday, and I will answer them. But if you join the Insiders Club, you get top priority on Fan Mail Friday. So that's going to do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you tomorrow.